I'm going to look at Solana and Bitcoin today. We're going to break it down from the daily, go down into the H4 chart and come up with a few trade ideas. I just want to show you the higher time frame levels I have on Solana here on the daily time frame that I'm keeping an eye on, and then we'll go down into the H4 and come up with a nice trade idea. Same with Bitcoin, but at the moment Solana, the most relevant structure I have is this resistance running through the market, a little bit of support here, resistance and resistance. Now we've broke out of that, so does that mean that this squeeze is finally on the breakout? Not really, it's not confirmed yet. We do have support here running across that I've marked out on the daily time frame, so any more upside, if we break and hold above there, that will come into play. But at the moment where we are, we're between this structure of a resistance, we got a breakout and a retest. So let's go down into the H4 now that we have got our higher time frame levels on play. Let's put on our indicator. I like to use the weekly levels to get involved with my trades. As you can see, we're bouncing off the previous weekly midpoint. So the two key levels, if I can take this off for a second so you can see it clearly, we have this previous weekly high here and this previous weekly midpoint. So we're in between two key levels. So the trade idea I have is if we can come down, close below this previous weekly midpoint and then reclaim, I'll use that as support to get in on a long. Stops, you can just basically put them below this previous weekly midpoint or just below this higher time frame structure. Either one of those levels will work for me. Now if we don't get that deviation back below, where we deviate and back below, and we can use this previous level of support as support again, then I will be looking for a breakout. The confirmation on the breakout would be a H4 close and then a retest and hold above this previous weekly high. Now I say hold above because if we get a H4 close back below, I will be looking to cut that for a scratch or as close to a scratch as possible. But you need to be at the charts and you need to be looking at this on a H4 closing basis. So if we get that H4 close above and retest and we hold above, I will get in long on Solana. Potential targets are this previous swing up here, but what I like to do is use the deviations of the weekly range as potential targets. So all we have to do is take this previous weekly low, extend it to the previous weekly high, and then just extend that to one deviation, so we have clear targets that we have in mind. So if we get that H4 close and retest of this level, I will be long, and this is my target 1 and this is my target 2. If we deviate below, hit that higher time frame level and then come in and get in on a long, then the previous weekly high will be my 1 target, and this half a deviation will be my second target in around 172. So that's a clear plan for Solana that I have. I'll just let the trade come to me. Whilst it's between this weekly high and previous weekly midpoint, I'm not interested in getting involved with any trades, as this could just consolidate in here. I'm just waiting for a deviation so we could trap some sellers, or we're looking for that breakout so we got that confirmation that buyers are stepping into the market. So that's Solana and what I'm looking at. We'll quickly move on to Bitcoin. We'll go down to the daily again, just to take a look at this structure. I'll take off the weekly ranges for now. Taking a look at this structure, this channel that we've been moving in is relevant to price. I've also got the midpoint of this channel. So at the moment we are stuck. We've deviated above this level. Let me just put it in on the daily so you can see it. I have it on the chart, but I'll just highlight it for you so you can see it a little bit clearer. It's relevant to price now, so that's why I have it on the chart where we have support here, resistance and resistance. We did break and we closed below that. So any daily close back above and retest, I will be looking to long up until this channel top, or as I say, let's put on our indicators on the H4 and it'll all become a little bit clearer for you. So on the H4 we have the weekly levels. The previous weekly midpoint lines up really nicely with that higher time frame support and resistance. So looking at this, a H4 close above and retest and we stay above this previous weekly midpoint, then the previous weekly high would become my first target, with this channel top becoming my second target. The second idea that I have is if we can break below this previous weekly low, trap some sellers into the market, deviate that level back inside, hold as support, then my first target will be this previous weekly midpoint and second target will be this previous weekly high. If we don't get the deviation, what I mean by that, say we come down, close below and then we close back inside and then we start closing back below, it shows that it's not ready yet, and you have to be on guard for that to try and get out for a small loss or a scratch. That's what I usually try and do. So you need to be looking at the movements in and around these weekly ranges. So just to clarify, a deviation back inside, I will be long on Bitcoin until this previous weekly midpoint, with my second target being this previous weekly high. Unless we break out and retest this midpoint straight away without taking out these lows, then I will be long with a target of this previous weekly high and see if we have any room to the upside to hit this channel top.